Okay. Welcome back to Attack on Titan Anime Review, episode number 27. Yeah, you all probably asked the same question basically when I did this for recently for My Hero Academia and Seven Deadly Sins. Why am I doing another episode if you know that there's not a new season out right now? Well, there kind of is a good reason for it, because I'm reviewing the third compilation film for Attack on Titan, Roar of the Awakening, which is basically an abridged retelling of the entire second season. I gotta say, basically, after sitting through this film, they do a really good job of basically retelling season 2. 2, in case you're wondering, was only 12 episodes. And you want to know the length of this film? This film is exactly 2 hours, which makes it probably the longest anime film I've ever sat through, because normally anime films are usually like an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40 minutes, or at least an hour and 50 minutes, but never 2 hours exactly. This makes it the longest one I've sat through. Now, in case you're wondering, is there any major changes to the actual season itself? Not really, no. They do trim down some stuff a little bit here and there. It's just that with this one, it's a little more gorier than it was presented in the actual show itself. I mean, it is basically watching the second season over again, just under Japanese sub, because what is the abridged films. The only thing that they do dub for Attack on Titan is just the season themselves. They don't dub the OVAs for some reason, despite the fact that a lot of them are pretty much canon to the show. I don't see why they can't do that. Yeah, that's the thing about animation. They don't dub OVAs. They dub episodes of a anime TV series and films. Well, basically ones that are not abridged retellings of stuff basically we told before. Because for this film, I gotta say, for the subbing wise, they do a really good job. And plus, one thing nice about this one is that it's like you're watching the dub instead of watching the sub in a way, because normally the subs basically refer to the Survey Corps simply as what they call it, the Survey Corps. In the dub, they refer to them as the Scouts, because that's what they do. They scout. Yep. Yep. That's pretty much what they do. And it's nice to see this film again. See some of the stuff in this film. Now, a lot of the footage is shown in this particular film I had not seen since last year when I had watched season 2. And season 2, I binge watched that entire season in just 4 hours, and I did a review of that season just a few hours after I did a review of season 1. Yes, because I got through the season pretty quickly. And from what I heard about season 2, is that the studio made it with studio. They got a lot of flack for, well, having the season be so freaking short. Yes, a lot of people were hoping for the same length as it was the previous season, which was 24 episodes. But for some reason, I have no idea why in the world this was, they decided to just make it 12 episodes. At least this one, basically, unlike the last one, did cut out some stuff. This one, if you had seen the season of the show, season 2, it didn't seem as though they actually cut out much of anything, because they kept pretty much a lot of the stuff in, per se, instead of just cutting like a lot of stuff out like they did for the second compilation film, with all that was, which is basically a bridge showing the second half of season 1. The first one did make changes. They make changes, and they actually added a set back in. This one, they kept a lot of the stuff in that you like about season 2, except it's a little more gorier. Yeah, my gosh, the gore is like up to 11 in this season. It's like way high. But that's a series for you. Basically, lots and lots of gore. That's pretty much the way the series has been. I mean, if you look at, let's say, the most recent season, like, there's still some gore there, but some of it's censored. But that was mainly due to the network it was on. It was like regular television instead of like cable network. Yeah, for some reason, they said this channels for season 3, despite the fact they have been the same network for years. From what I heard, this is nothing unusual. Shows do this a lot. This is nothing unusual. This is nothing really new. But it's the first time I've seen it for an actual TV show from Japan, because the only show I could think of that actually switched channels was Gintama, when it was basically, they poked fun at it because the show was freaking North, and they did that a lot. The show. Also, this movie shows a lot more blood than it did in the actual thing itself, because you actually see, like, when Arrow trying to transform into his Titan form. Yeah, this, even the show never explained why the heck he's not able to transform into a Titan. This I think he has a goal: kill the Smile Titan. The Smiling Titan, because this is the same time that ate his mother. So he's basically biting his hand. He's biting both hands. Because normally, the way it works for his transformation, he has to have a goal in order to transform into his Attack Titan form. Which, at this point of the series, they don't call it that. They actually don't call it in the anime until, like, toward the end of Season 3. That's officially called that. The name itself comes from the name of the show itself, Attack on Titan. Yeah. And the one thing you gotta appreciate about Season 2 is that it sets up stuff for the Uprising arc, but it doesn't. It also has a little bit set up for the Return of Shuha. So you can kind of say Season 2, the whole arc they do for Season 2 is just set up for Season 3. That's simply put what Season 2 is. It's just planting the seeds for later story arcs. And yes, the writer of Attack on Titan is basically... He's not the only writer who's done this. Oda has done this with One Piece frequently. Let's see. Bleach, not as much, but it did foreshadow something later on. But it wasn't like obviously foreshadowing something. The only series I can think of that's done this is, let's see, My Hero Academia did it. They actually teased that couple. They actually do tease some future story arcs in the series. They did it with the most recent arcs of the recent 2 seasons. Let's see. Definitely not One Punch Man. They, as far as I can tell, never actually did it at all. Trying to think, was there any series I could think of that actually foreshadowed for future story arcs? Excuse me, let me think. No, not Pandora Hearts, that never did. Trying to think about this. Definitely not Case Closed. No, Case Closed never foreshadowed its future story arcs because they were just basically self-contained stories that somehow were followed up later on. That's how Case Closed went. Would I probably say Naruto? Not really, no. Some stuff basically was some minor stuff. It wasn't like complete. It wasn't like set up for something later. At least foreshadowing later per se. You just read it as you go along. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Blue Exorcist has actually done that. Yes, Blue Exorcist actually did do that. What they actually did set up for future stuff in that one. Other series I've watched have done that. Oh yeah, Seven Deadly Sins did it. Yes, Seven Deadly Sins did foreshadow future story arcs for that one. So, nothing really new there. It's just a few series I can think of top of my head that actually has done it. I mean, I personally can't think of any more. Oh, Fairy Tail. Yes, Fairy Tail did foreshadow future story arcs. Well, at least they also referenced future story arcs, but they did foreshadow some, but it wasn't like the way it was for, let's say, these other series I named. But yeah. But the film itself was really good. Long, but really good. And a lot of stuff that you could think of when it comes to Season 2 was actually kept in this particular film. Like, there's this really adorable moment where they have Ymir, who's in her jaw Titan form, and she's taking her fingers and she's just petting, with a finger, petting Historia's head. Yes. The thing with Ymir is, she's probably by far the only character in Attack on Titan who's actually in love with a woman. Yes. Krista, believe it or not, has got like two people in the show in love with her, one of whom is currently dead. Yeah. And that was something that, here's something what I heard about Ymir's death. The writer himself, I don't remember the guy's name. I think his name is, who Attack Titan. Yeah, he got some flack falling off Ymir, and he himself actually regrets killing off Ymir, because really he's got to praise the fact the writer actually regrets about something he actually did in the series, like the Uprising arc, for example. He actually regrets a lot of the stuff about the arc, and he actually appreciates what the anime did with the arc that he originally wrote and drew for the manga. Like the changes they made, he approved all of them. He actually did one of those changes we made. And one of the changes they made to it was the fight between Kenny and Levi in the cave, that was actually not from the story arc itself. That was anime original. I know we're rambling up on future stuff, but when it comes this season, it's very good. Though the film does have a teaser for season 3, which I've already watched season 3, both sub and dubbed. Yep. But I keep thinking though, like they just did an abridged retelling of season 2. I would not be surprised if they did an abridged retelling for season 3. Probably while season 4 is coming out. That's just a possibility might happen. I mean, I've heard season 4 is coming out next year. Which makes it the second series of all the series I watch. It's getting a 4th season. Of course, we have, in a couple months, we have My Hero Academia and 7 Deadly Sins returning. But Attack on Titan, no, it's next year. Oh, there is one other series did for Shadow Future Story Arcs. Black Clover. Yes, Black Clover did do that as well. Yep. But this film was good. I mean, I can't exactly explain exactly what happened in this film. Basically, it's, like I said, just a bridge retelling of season 2. I mean, the revelation they do in here is the same way they did in the show. Yeah. Though, I think anybody can touch like a Barnet and Reiner, that these two were in fact the Armor Titan and the Colossus Titan respectively, because of their size. I mean, if you look at Reiner, it's completely obvious he is the Attack Titan. He's the Armor Titan. Yes, the Colossal Titan, Barnet, Bartol, I think it's even the guy's name. Okay, tall, slim guy, completely obvious he was the Colossal Titan. Yeah, I kind of revealed this when I was talking about season 2 when I did my second video for this review series, that it was quite obvious just by his sheer size that he was the Colossal Titan. And of course, and apparently Reiner's the boss of the two, which is quite interesting that Reiner, you might think Barnet, basically, who's the tall and slim one, he might be the boss of boss of like the group anyways. Also, they did mention here, I don't remember if this was actually mentioned in the show itself, that apparently the military police was torturing Annie. No, that was not true at all. As a matter of fact, Annie, I think they did cut some stuff that, because Annie, I think she did show up in season 2 when she was crystallized, but nothing was done with that at all, which is kind of weird. She did show up in the recent story arc for the series, yes, but nothing really much was done with the character at all ever since she was, well, decided to harden her whole human body back at the end of the 6th arc of the series, which was the end of season 1. Yep. But one thing interesting you could say about season 2, it revealed 3 Titan shifters. 2 of whom had connections to the pilot of the series. The other one was just basically, oh, she's a Titan. Okay. Yep. And the thing about, wait, I don't remember this actually happened in the show itself, in the season, because it's been a while since I've watched it, where it looked like while Eren and Mikasa were talking before the Smelly talking, this is when they were on the ground, and this is after Hans was killed. And it looked like these two were about to make out, and then all of a sudden the Smiling Titan just attacked them. Yes. Now Mikasa, basically, it's very heavily implied in the series she's been in love with Eren ever since they were children. Eren has no feelings for her at all. As a matter of fact, I think the only woman he may have had feelings for is maybe Annie or maybe Krista. That's basically it. Yeah, I mean, he just views her as basically just a childhood friend. He doesn't feel for her any other way. I mean, I know people love shipping both him and Mikasa a lot. Yes, there's tons of fanfics with these two actually, together as an item. And in bed together doing adult stuff. Yep. Though there's one I've seen basically with Eren with Annie. Though they've also put Armor with Annie as well. Yep. Yeah, I do this basically reading fanfics basically. People just, well, I just do it my own time. I won't see what happens in them because, well, we didn't properly talk about it in video form. Yep. So yeah, not much else to say about this particular film. It's good. Great retelling of season 2. Alright, so that's it for this particular review. The only thing I have left to review for Attack on Titan, aside from the upcoming chapter of manga that comes next month, before the next season comes out, is probably just the mini-series that's just a prelude to the very disappointing the not very good Attack on Titan live action film. Yep. But I also have at least 5 other videos coming today. 2 manga reviews and 3 comic corners. Yep. That's pretty much all I have to come today. Okay? But the next video I'm going to do is a review of the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. Okay? I'll see you next view. Bye.